Attention buyers and buyer's agent. Last night and today, the time here is 7:23, September 14, which is Thursday. Last night I did reject 3 brokers on the group chat, and their buyer is already in Conakry, and their terms and condition is not acceptable. So last night, before I close midnight, I rejected this buyer. He's a French buyer that is already in Conakry. We don't entertain buyers already on the ground. We want to know the credential of the buyer. So the 3 buyers agent, they're brokers, and they don't know what they're doing. And I asked them on video call that I want your buyer to send his credential before I'm going to arrange to meet my head office in Conakry. That was very early morning. That was midnight. Morning here in Australia. In Conakry was 11 o'clock in the evening. So the buyer's terms and condition is not acceptable. The buyer has already a license to buy and license to export. And I told this broker, if your buyer has license to buy and license to export, why he cannot get the gold? Why? Something wrong. So I did explain to these 3 joker broker that you have a paper, you have a license to buy, you have a license to export. Just like when you open a shop, you are registered, but you don't have the stock. And they were asking below the belt price, and I told them that we don't sell below the price, below the belt. Our selling price is premium. Our selling price less 8%, tax included. And they were wondering about the tax in Guinea. And I told them, go back and read because I don't have time to educate you. You come to Wilhelmina, you found me on my YouTube, and you found me on WhatsApp and Facebook. You need to read because Wilhelmina is very strict. That's the reason why I put everything online, because I want the broker to read and I want the buyer also to read. Very clear and simple. The full corporate offer is very extensive. I put the tax on Mali. I put the tax on Conakry and Sierra Leone. Our selling price based on the world market of the day, less 8%, tax included. Right. So last night, the buyer failed. They are already in Conakry. Now, few hours ago, I have another Indian. He was being invited by his fellow Indian, and he sent me the landing visa, and I turned him down. And I told him, we don't pirate a client. You need to deal with the person that who secured the visa, because the visa is $150. So you have to deal with the person who welcome you. And he was not happy with his fellow Indian. And when I look at the visa, his fellow Indian, their company, their registered office is in Kono, too far from Freetown. So I turned him down. He was begging me, and I told him, how did you find me? And he said he found me on YouTube. And I told him, did you really listen to the video? Did you really read the full corporate offer? I think the way I look at it, the way I chat with this Indian buyer, he's really troubled. His mind is troubled, and he's flying today to Sierra Leone. And I told him, we cannot go behind with your seller. It's against the principle. So he was begging me. So his seller, his fellow Indian, offered him cheap price. And he was not happy. And I told him our selling price is premium. I don't know if you can afford. Mhm. Our selling price, whatever the world market today, today is Thursday, whatever the price, less 8%. Now, today is Thursday, just a moment. I'm going to go to the world market. Just bear with me. Gold price, so that you have an idea. I am not here to teach you guys. Now, the price of gold today, you have not made a decision. I 61, 61, 61, 175. Okay, that is refined. Okay, now we are selling unrefined. That's why we give you 8%. Now 61, 311, there is no discount because that is already refined. You are buying unrefined. That's why you travel to Africa, because when you buy, you are a good trader. When you buy, then you can resell it to Dubai. This Indian, he's going to bring the gold to Dubai. So I told him that whatever the price today, 61,311.75 minus 8%, which is, I'm gonna get my calculator. Just bear with me. I am not here to teach you. This buyer is really in trouble. His man is troubled. So I told him I don't deal with troubled person. Now 61,311.75 less 8% equals, your profit is 4,904 per kilo minus 61,311.75. Our selling price is 56,406. That's what I told him. He said too expensive. And I told him, yes, you are buying expensive item. So therefore, you have to pay the expensive products. Gold is the world asset. Gold is the most highest demand. Gold is commodity. Gold has many uses. So this Indian, he's really bothered. And I told him, add me on bottom. He did add it. I think his English is broken. And he said he's going to bring the gold to Dubai. And I told him, Dubai jewelry manufacturer, Dubai refinery buying 2%. And he wanted more profit. That's the reason why he was scared. His fellow Indian had a license to operate in Sierra Leone. He's not feel comfortable. And he come to Wilhelmina. Can you imagine that? YouTube channel is the best channel. And I'm the only person that explain it. I don't know if you watch the video properly. You need to listen to the video properly and click below, subscribe, read the full corporate offer. I itemize it. Whether you buy gold in Sierra Leone, the taxes 6.5. Whether you buy gold in Mali, the government sales tax is 7%. Whether you buy gold in Conakry, the government sales tax 6.5. Now, 6.5, whatever the price of the day. Today, you're not buying gold because you're just contacting Wilhelmina. I'm just sharing you what I rejected last night and today. Okay. So, assuming you're gonna buy gold in Sierra Leone. Okay. This Indian is flying today to Sierra Leone and he's troubled because he's not feel comfortable with his fellow Indian. Right. On 61,311.75, the tax, let's say I'm going to give you 3% tax, assuming, because our selling price tax included, which is $56,000. The tax is already on the price. Okay, 3%. The tax on every bar is 1,839. When I travel with you, so the price is tax included. You already save. Let's say you buy 10 kilos. 10 kilos times 1,839 times 10 kilos. That is $18,000, 393. You are already winning because our selling price less 8% tax included, except shipping cost, except insurance. Now, I don't deal the buyer already on the ground. I don't, because I need to scrutinize the buyer properly. Now, this buyer is Indian. He's traveling tonight to Freetown. I turned him down. Because I saw his visa already. I saw his landing visa. He was being invited by his fellow Indian. And I don't want to pirate this Indian buyer. And he's asking cheap price. So to me, he's not really a buyer. He's a cheap buyer. This gold is very expensive. Gold is not cheap. So I turned him down. Now, I'm going to summarize again and again. Mr. Gold Trader, this is Wilhelmina. Listen to this video properly. Don't come to Wilhelmina unless you fully understood. In Africa, gold is not cheap. There are so many offer undervalue in order for you to trap. They're offering 35, they're offering 40, but it's not 40. To be honest with you, I don't want you to trap, because when you arrive in Freetown, I'm 100% you are going to be trapped, because there is a rules and regulation in every country. The Indian that you owe, this Indian buyer, he was dealing with Indian that have license, and I don't know, because when I look at his landing visa, this Indian, I think he has business in Sierra Leone, but this Indian has no gold. So that's why this buyer, an Indian buyer, he searched on YouTube, he found Wilhelmina. He was really very disturbed, very. He's pressuring me, and I told him I don't want buyer pressuring me, because I'm going away next week. I'm going overseas. I can arrange you, and I can arrange my head office to meet you, but you need to convince me. I try to call him on board him. He's right now in Dubai. Stop over in Dubai. If you're in Dubai, you download Botim, right? Because WhatsApp is not acceptable when you have a video call. Nowadays, I did change my my policy. I don't want to chat on WhatsApp unless you open your camera. So if you're from Dubai, you have to download Botim, because I want to screen you. I want to interview you on video call. Now, last night, I have a guy from United Kingdom. There were 3 of them. And this guy, I have a video call conference. And he said to me that really in Conakry, it is very hard to find the gold supplier. And he have not closed the deal. And I told him, I've been to Conakry many times. So I showed him my video that my transaction has been successful. So I only travel when the buyer can afford to pay. I don't entertain buyer that cannot afford to pay my services. You are using my services. That's why you found me on YouTube, and you come on WhatsApp and on Facebook. That is my online platform. I'm selling gold directly to the point, and I provide the full corporate offer, whether you buy gold in Conakry, whether you buy gold in Mali, whether you buy gold in Sierra Leone. The procedure are all the same, except the government sales tax. Now, you're going to say, well, Amina, what I'm going to get out of my gold? Well, you have to taste the gold. You are in Freetown. You have to taste the gold at GGO. There is a cost of $100. The seller didn't tell you that. The seller didn't tell you that there is a cost when you assay the gold to GGO. You will get the assay report that the gold is 23 carats or 98% purity or 97. So don't bank on it. So the GGO will give you a certificate of assay. Right. So, on the video that you found me, Mr. Gold Trader, I don't want to mention your name because you are already nervous. He's traveling tonight. He's in Dubai, from India to Dubai. He's already nervous, and I told him, you don't need to feel nervous. I want you to tell me which hotel you are staying in Freetown. Now, the Indian who invited him, his office is in Kono. It's far from Freetown. Right. So I told him, I wish you good luck. I am not here to steal buyers because that Indian who secure landing visa, he's expecting his fellow Indian to arrive tomorrow. Right. So I told him I don't do business like that. And he's really demanding me, Madam, please send me a welcome letter. It's not easy to send you a welcome letter because we need to scrutinize you whether you are really serious buyer. Now he keep on bargaining and bargaining, and he said, can you give me more discount? And I told him, I already given you discount. And I don't entertain buyer without me. I do charge my services. So he's failed again. So this video, I'm telling you, do not come to Wilhelmina unless you really read the full corporate offer on this video. Today is September 14, right? Tomorrow is Friday. Today is Thursday. So, yeah, today is Thursday. So the price keep going and keep watching on the world market. Now I'm giving you the link on this video. Click the link on the gold price. Whatever the price on the world market, we give you discount of 8%. Now, if I travel with you, right? Because I need to guide you, and I do charge my travel cost. Now, when you buy gold anywhere in Africa, you will get the commercial invoice, certificate of origin, certificate of ownership, export license permit number, airway bill, and assay statement, assay report. Whether you are going to buy gold in Freetown, you will get assay report from GGO. Whether when you buy gold in Mali, you are going to get the assay report from GNGM, the government laboratory. Whether you buy gold in Conakry, you will get the assay report from the central bank. So you need to read because I don't have time to explain to you. I am the only person who put everything on social media in order for me to save time. Read it because it's here. And you will get the ECOWAS certificate because Mali, Conakry, and Sierra Leone is an ECOWAS member. Why that ECOWAS is very important? It means to say that you have paid the gold to the owner of the gold. There are so many fake offer. So many. I'm telling you, you are going to be trapped. Like last night, I have a guy, he knows me for 2 years. He's working in New York. He said to me, Madam, I haven't even met the seller that provide vital information except you. And he has a difficulty, and I told him, because you are not reading, you are not paying attention, and we have a video call. Now, Mr. Buyer, from now on, when you come to chat with me, please do not say hello. This guy, Indian gold trader, he called me sir, and I told him, do I look like sir? When you found me on YouTube channel, do I look like sir? And I told him, a person who calls sir, that is insulting to the lady. So I give him my pictures on the table, and I show him my platform on Facebook, and I told him, that's the reason why you have a problem, because you don't know how to identify yourself. Do I look like sir? You are insulting Mrs. Ford calling me sir, I told him. So he apologized, and I told him, next time, you need to identify whom you are talking. You already found me on my YouTube, therefore, do I look like sir? So to all joker broker, to all joker buyer, do not come to Wilhelmina addressing me hello, addressing me sir, because I'm not sir. Do I look like sir? Mhm. A minute you call me sir, to me you're just time waster. You pretend to be a buyer, but you are not certain buyer. Because a real buyer is very professional. When he watched my YouTube channel, when he go to my Facebook, they're gonna send me a formal message. Dear Wilhelmina, I found you on your Facebook. I am searching on behalf of the buyer. You need to introduce yourself. Do not say that you are a buyer, because when I ask you to open your camera, when I interview you, and you're gonna say you have a buyer, to me you're a liar. You need to be transparent. You're gonna say, Wilhelmina, I search on behalf of my seller. Wilhelmina, I'm here searching on behalf of my buyer. So if you're searching on behalf of the seller and then you're asking buyer from me, I am not going to give you. You have the seller. You have to learn how to position your seller. I was the one who put this everything on social media because Africa has been tarnished tremendously. I am the one cleaning Africa. It's not easy. It's not easy. So some joker broker doesn't like Wilhelmina. If you don't like Wilhelmina, that's not my problem. It is your problem. The real buyer will love me because the real buyer can say, oh, Wilhelmina was been blogged. Why these people hate Wilhelmina? Something wrong with that person who blogged me. That person who blogged me is the real cheater, the real deceitful. I refrain using scam. The meaning of deceitful is the scammer. Next week, I'm going to expose Giovanni. If you're watching me, I'm going to expose you. I've been sending you messages and you are stealing people's money in Australia. You are deceiving the seller in Mali. I'm going to show the picture of yours and also the person that pretending he is a buyer. I have all the documentation. I'm going away next week. I'm enjoying my holiday. I would be in Africa next month. Giovanni, if you're watching me, I'm going to show the world your picture. You better contact Mali. Why you steal the money from the depositor in Australia? You are a fraudulent pretending to buy gold in Mali. Okay? I'm just warning you, Giovanni. Your address is in United States, but you live in Barcelona or you live in Europe. So you are deceiving. You are a scrupulous buyer. You are. So I'm just warning you, Giovanni. I'm start to mention your name and I'm going to start to show your picture in order for the buyer to be aware. Because maybe you are dealing with Kenya, maybe you're dealing with Ghana, maybe dealing with Freetown or Conakry. I'm going to show your passport picture. So better talk to Wilhelmina. Why did you do that to the seller in Mali? Why? Giovanni, I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. I'm not. I have all your documentation here sent by the seller from Mali. The seller from Mali, you victimize them. The seller asked me, Mrs. Ford, can you help us? I am going to expose you, Giovanni. I'm giving you a warning. I'm going to show your passport copy here. I have a file. So better communicate with Wilhelmina. Now going back to this gold. We don't deal buyers already on the ground. I only deal buyer that really qualified. Yeah, you need to send a letter of interest to purchase coming from you if you are a buyer. Now on this video, the full corporate offer is on this video. Click below, it says show more. I want you to read. Do not come to Wilhelmina unless you fully understood. Because I am not here to teach people. I am here to sell in the professional way. We have gold in Mali. We have gold in Conakry. We have gold in Sierra Leone. Now, this buyer, two buyers, potential buyer, did not meet the criteria. Didn't. The buyer is a French guy. He's already in Conakry. Didn't get the gold. I turn it down. If he has a license, why he cannot get the gold? I told the broker, tell your buyer, travel to Sigeri, bring cash, right? Then he can pay. To travel from Conakry to Sigeri is 1 day. 1 day by car. The road is very rough. And I wouldn't travel to Sigeri. The road is very bumpy. From Sigeri, the gold, they will bring it to Conakry. You, Mr. Buyer, you don't need to go to the mines. You come to the office, you inspect your order, you bring your gold analyzer, you taste it in the office before we're gonna bring that to central bank for final assay. Yeah, before the gold will be brought to the central bank, you need to make your down payment. We cannot take the gold out of the building without your commitment. Now the contract, we have to do the contract subject for inspection of your order. Mr. Buyer, pay attention. Do not tell me about your terms because the seller is in control of his product. You have to follow the terms and conditions. All right? I would be in Conakry next month. So, Mr. Buyer, I'm out of the country next week. So, you do your due diligence. I will do the due diligence about you. The due diligence is already here. You meet Wilhelmina here. The full corporate offer is on this video. Click below. Read it. You come when you are ready. I need a copy of your business registration, a copy of your importation license, a copy of your passport, a copy of your proof of fund, your bank statement that you have $1 million available in your bank account after you watch this video. Do not come for conference if you are not fully aware what is full corporate offer. The full corporate offer, we offer to the world Africa is the main source. That is the meaning. The full corporate offer, the gold in Africa is 23 carats, which is 22 plus. We offer to the world that we are selling unrefined. We call that gold bar Dore. We are not selling refined. There is no discount on refined. You can buy that at the central bank. You only buy the serial number. Or you can buy that to the refinery. There is no discount. You are buying in Africa. Africa is the main source of supply. Gold and diamond, gas, emerald, etc., etc. So Wilhelmina is the one who marketed Africa. Wilhelmina is the one positioning Africa, that Africa is the main source of gold and rough diamond and many others. I only deal with you, Mr. Buyer, when you convince Wilhelmina. I will determine which seller I'm going to place you after our video call conference, live video call. Don't be scared, Mr. Buyer. You need to show. Why? Because my seller already lost gold. My seller lost gold in Mali. My seller lost gold from Sierra Leone. My seller lost gold from Conakry. From now on, I told my seller, do not believe on buyer. If the buyer cannot show his proof of fund to me, he is not a buyer. Mr. Buyer, if you're scared to show, meaning to say you're scrupulous. I'm telling you, Mr. Buyer, go on my platform on Facebook. I went to Africa, transaction successful. If you're scared to show your face, if you're scared to show your business registration, don't come to Wilhelmina. Why? Your information is intact. I will release my seller, mining license, export license, company profile of the seller, and etc. Until you convince Wilhelmina. I have the power to say yes or no. I have the power to advise the seller to proceed. I have the power to allocate you. And I have the power to determine which seller I'm going to place you. Either we travel to Mali, either I'm going to take you to Conakry, either I'm going to take you to Sierra Leone. Now, my services is not for free. I am not an agency. I'm not. You bump into my platform, you read, you listen to this video. When I travel with you, Mr. Buyer, yes, I do charge my services to cover my travel cost to be with you. If you cannot afford my travel cost, meaning to say you cannot afford to pay the gold, you cannot. Because I'm going to charge you $20,000 to accompany you to cover my airline ticket, to cover my accommodation, miscellaneous expenses, and etc. That $20,000, non-refundable. Take it or leave it. You have two options, Mr. Buyer. You can travel. You are not paying my extra service. You provide me all, and I will arrange the contract, and I will advise the head office. But if there is an issue, do not call Wilhelmina. Do not. Because I'm too far. I already warn you that when there is an issue, do not keep on calling. Yes? Because African seller, they are not prompt. When appointment 9 o'clock, they will show up 11 o'clock. But if I'm with you, in puntos, 9 o'clock. Why? Because I educate my head office that when I bring the buyer, when the appointment 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock, in puntos 10 o'clock, in puntos 9 o'clock. You know what this in puntos mean? Exactly the time 9 o'clock. In puntos mean Spanish. Habla Español a little bit. So now, I don't need to explain. I don't need to educate you. I already rejected 2 buyers. 1 buyer last night and 1 buyer today. He didn't meet the criteria. He was looking for cheap price. We don't sell cheap price. You are buying most expensive item in the world. Gold has many uses. You must remember. Either you can refine it 99.99. Either you refine it to make into jewelry. Either you're gonna refine it to make into bracelet. Either you're gonna refine it into false teeth. Either you're gonna refine it to make into medical uses or spare parts on mobile phone. So there are so many uses. So don't tell me too expensive. Correct? You are buying expensive item. When it's finished, it is very expensive. You are giving less 8% tax included, except shipping cost, except insurance. Right? This is F.O.B, not CIF. Not cost insurance and freight. Not SBLC, standard letter of credit. Not block fund. Not MT799. Africa is the cash business. You got my point, Mr. Buyer? I'm telling you, again, Mr. Buyer, pay attention to this video. Click below, subscribe. Read the full corporate offer. I want you to digest it. If you went to school, I can guarantee you can comprehend. I can guarantee. But if you didn't go to school, still you can read it. If you didn't go to school, still you can read it. You can still comprehend. You're born in the United States, you're born in United Kingdom, you speak English. But I want you to digest it. I was born in Asia. You must remember, I'm Australian, but I was born in Asia. I went to school. I know how to read ABC. And I want you as well, whether you are from India, whether you're in Pakistan, you went to school, isn't it? So therefore, pay attention, take time, don't rush. Like this Indian buyer. He's rushing, he's demanding, pressuring me. And I told him, I wish you good luck. Because I'm not here to steal customer. So he has already a landing visa. His fellow Indian secured a landing visa for him. So I don't do that. And I would not assist him. So he was begging me, and I told him, I wish you good luck. There's so many fake offer in Freetown. You might able to get what you are looking for. He's looking for cheap price. Mr. Seller, if you're watching me from Sierra Leone, you are very rich. You are very rich in natural resources. There are so many scrupulous buyers traveling to your country. Do not fake it. Whatever your government regulation, tell the buyer, this is it, this is the price. Give the buyer a leeway, tax included, as long as the buyer pay the gold. Because it will reflect the cash inflow, Mr. Seller. There are so many fake offer in Sierra Leone. There's so many fake offer as well in Conakry. There's also fake offer in Mali. There's also fake offer in Ghana, Kenya, Tanzania, etc. The seller would not explain to you, Mr. Buyer, that the cash inflow means that you transfer the payment from your bank account to the seller's bank account in order to show to the government that you did pay the gold, so that the government will give the seller and you, Mr. Buyer, certificate of clearance that the gold is free of illegal activities. It's on here. On this video, click below. Everything I put just like an elementary. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant good evening. The time here is 7:59 already. In your end, it's still morning. May I greet you a pleasant good morning or good afternoon in Dubai, good morning in Africa, good morning in Europe, good evening here in Australia. Good luck. I shall wait for your conference on video call when you are ready to purchase.